As the enthusiasm and excitement continue to grow for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, Donald Trump seems to be continuing his epic meltdown in each and every appearance. Now, Donald Trump has had a very light campaign schedule, at least over the last few weeks, but he did hold a rally in Bozeman, Montana this past Friday, and oh boy, was it a sight to behold. Now, I wanted to more specifically look at how Donald Trump is attacking Kamala Harris. What type of narrative is he coming up with to try to define his opponent? Up until this point, we haven't heard a whole lot out of Donald Trump. Maybe he's come up with some childish insults. Maybe he's questioned her race weirdly and oddly. And maybe sprinkled in a little bit of misogyny here and there. But up until this point, Donald Trump has not been able to craft a narrative for people to question whether or not they should be voting for Kamala Harris. So let's go ahead and take a look at how he's trying to do that. And we'll start off by him trying to question Kamala Harris's last name. I don't get it either. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Kamala Harris, you know, it's interesting. Nobody really knows her last name. If you ask people, do you know what her last name is? Nobody has any idea what it is. Harris. It's like Harris. I don't know. How the hell did this happen?
What is he talking about? Does anybody have a clue? Seriously, guys, Donald Trump is not well. He didn't say her name weird. He didn't say anything else beside her What is he doing? I honestly think he is not well. I think he's having a mental breakdown of sorts. And I think we're going to continue to see this as we move forward. But let's go ahead and move on. Donald Trump is known for hurling childish insults at his opponents, and this rally was no different. Let's see which one he had to say about Kamala Harris.
Since becoming a presidential candidate, she has refused to do a single interview. You know why? Because she's dumb. Or hold a single press conference. She won't hold a press conference. She won't do it. She won't do it.
If Donald Trump just wanted to criticize her for not doing any press conferences up until this point, that would have been fine. Why did he have to go out and call her dumb? What is the point of this? You just look like a child. You look pathetic. You're not winning over any of the voters that you need to bring into your coalition. So what are you doing, Donald? What is going on? Now, there's a good argument to be made that Kamala Harris needs to get out there and do some press conferences, but there's also an equally valid argument that she is enjoying a huge uptick in momentum right now, and there's no need to try to ruin that with a bad media appearance. Now, if this was a trend that continues and she never steps in front of the cameras or a press conference, that would be an issue. That would be a problem. But we're not to that point yet. But Donald Trump just has to call her dumb and said she's not taking press conferences because of it. It's childish, it's pathetic, but let's go ahead and move on. Donald Trump also wanted to criticize Kamala Harris for giving speeches that sound the same at her campaign rallies. Let's go ahead and see what he said.
And Kamala gives the exact same speech over and over again. Over and over. The same exact words. One of the people put it up, like they put 6 of them up, and it was like every single word is the same. I don't do that. I got to give you a little bit of variety, right? I change all these damn speeches.
Has Donald Trump never heard or met any other politician ever? These are what we refer to as stump speeches. This is kind of how political campaigns are run. You have speech writers that craft speeches for the candidate, and the candidate goes out to their numerous rallies and gives that speech. There might be little variations here or there, but Donald Trump does this exact same thing. He is constantly talking about mass deportations, Hannibal Lecter, and whatever else is in his speeches. Donald Trump has the same speech. He has a stump speech that he gives at most of his rallies. This is not a criticism that lands. It's not a criticism that has any substance behind it, because Donald Trump is guilty of the same thing that he's trying to criticize Kamala Harris for. But moving on, let's go ahead and watch Donald Trump freak out about Kamala Harris's crowd sizes. We know this is a sore spot for Donald Trump, and that's why I was so excited to see all of the excitement and enthusiasm in Kamala Harris filling these stadiums to the brim, even with overflow and everything. I was really happy to see that because I know this is one language that Donald Trump speaks. He thinks that crowd sizes win elections. Obviously, that is not the case, but if we're speaking Donald Trump's language, he does understand that there is a huge excitement behind Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Let's go ahead and take a look.
How about yesterday? They said, oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd. The press is talking about the crowd. In New Jersey, I had 107,000 people. The press never even talked about it. They don't talk about it. Right? They don't talk about it. Because they're fake. I went to South Carolina. We had 82,000 people. Front row Joe, look. We have many front row Joes. We have Mr. Wall over here. Look, I love that suit.
Man, every single speech of Donald Trump's is like a word association game, or if he just has like a random thought, he just has to divert into that thought or else he'll lose it. It is really quite strange. We saw it here. He goes from criticizing Kamala Harris's crowds to lying about his 107,000 people crowd in New Jersey. That did not happen. He then goes on to talk about front row Joes, the people who follow him around to different rallies. I mean, these are things that don't really go together. And we see this more and more out of Donald Trump. He seems to just play these word association games. He can't really craft a sentence from start to finish. It's just quite strange, and it seems to be getting worse as the momentum for Harris and Walz picks up because he is just melting down. He also wanted to criticize Kamala Harris for secretly running the country. But how does that make sense if she's so dumb? How is she secretly running the country when she's not a bright individual? I don't know how these two thoughts coexist. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
For nearly 4 years, Joe Biden's mental incompetence has given Harris a free rein to impose her ultra-liberal agenda on America and others with her and destroy our country. You're destroying our country. Joe Biden was exposed during the debate. Likewise, Kamala will be exposed during the debate. She will be exposed during the debate or debates. But so far, she's refusing to debate.
Why is Donald Trump yelling? Settle down, man. So angry. Kamala Harris is not refusing to debate. Donald Trump is the one who pulled out of the debate that they had scheduled on ABC. Donald Trump is the one who pulled out and now is trying to go on to schedule debates on Fox News when Kamala Harris has no obligation to do a debate on Fox News. They paid nearly $1 billion because they lied so profusely and defamed a voting machine company. Why would she even step anywhere near Fox News when there is that type of dishonesty going on? Donald Trump should be able to do better than this. She's not dodging the debate. She's not the one secretly running our country. He's just grasping at straws. He doesn't know where to take this. He's having a really hard time trying to craft a narrative that gets out ahead of the narrative Kamala Harris has already crafted herself. Donald Trump goes on to say that Kamala Harris has low IQ. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
What they are doing is, in my opinion, totally illegal. Kamala is grossly incompetent and, in my opinion, has a very low IQ. But we'll find out about her IQ during the debate. Okay, let's find out about her IQ.
Really not liking this one, Donald Trump. Sorry. This has some racist connotations to it. Black folks used to be referred to lesser IQ individuals. So this one just hits a little bit different. probably should keep those words out of your mouth if at all possible. Again, you need to win over people in the middle. You need to expand your voter base. And with attacks like this, he's not going to be able to do that. So, just keep running your mouth, Donnie. I would prefer it only because I think it improves our chances to win in November. But to wrap things up, let's hear Donald Trump use a new nickname. What is a country buster? Has anybody ever heard this term before? Let's go ahead and listen to what Donald Trump said.
The most embarrassing day, I think, in the history of our country. On Election Day, we're going to tell this radical left country buster, she's a country buster, that we've had enough. We can't take it anymore. We're going to say, Kamala Harris, you're fired. You've done a horrible job. You're fired. Get out of here. Get out. Get the hell out of here, Kamala.
Why is Donald Trump so angry? Why is he yelling into the mic? And what is a country buster? I've never heard that one before. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But you do you. Okay, Donald? Donald Trump is flailing. He is having trouble finding attacks that land against Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. He is not on his A game. He seems to be much more undisciplined now that Kamala Harris is starting to lead in the polls. Donald Trump is seeing that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have a huge amount of enthusiasm and support behind them, and I think it is freaking him out. And I think we're going to see him unravel more and more unless he's able to turn this around somehow. I think he's freaking out, and he has no idea how to move forward in attacking Kamala Harris. But bring it on, Donald. I love to see it. Keep on unraveling because I think this benefits Democrats this November. So that's going to do it for me on this one, folks. If you got anything out of this video, if you could remember to smash that like button and hit subscribe, maybe share it with a friend or two, I'd very much appreciate that. If you think I got something wrong, or if you disagree with me about something, feel free to drop a comment below. And if you want to learn how Donald Trump spins fake realities for his MAGA supporters, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. And I will see you guys on the next one.